This episode is sponsored by Squarespace. Now that Drive My Car has won both Palme d'Or and an Oscar, I should probably talk about it. Based on a short story by author Haruki Murakami, this 2021 Japanese drama tells the story of a stage actor struggling to deal with the emotional trauma left by the sudden passing of his unfaithful wife. Long, slow, with low-key acting and minimal presentation, Drive My Car can be difficult to decipher. For one thing, it makes extensive use of a literary device called Intertextuality, shaping its story by referencing Uncle Vanya, a play written by Russian playwright Anton "The Gun" Chekhov. That's the one thing I want to talk about today. What is intertextuality, how it is utilized in the film, and what it brings to the story. This will be a watered-down look at what I learned in film school, so it will be slightly dry, but I'll try my best to get the point across as simply as possible. That means I'll be sticking to more colloquial terms just for simplicity's sake. So, without further ado, let's take a look at Drive My Car and its hidden meanings. First, what is intertextuality? Well, it is a literary device in which a text is shaped by another text. Think allusions, references, parodies, or needle drops. This shot from Shaolin Soccer is funny on its own, but the humor really comes from its intertextual connection with 2001: A Space Odyssey. It takes the grandiose of the earlier film and uses it as a setup, while Shaolin Soccer itself contains only the punchline. The joke happens in between these two texts, and thus intertextuality. In general, intertextuality comes in three non-exclusive categories. Obligatory. This is when a text must be deciphered using another text. For example, Scary Movie. This parody of the horror film Scream only makes sense if you have seen Scream. If you watch Scary Movie without seeing Scream, the satires will feel hollow and without meaning. That's why the intertextuality is obligatory. Optional intertextuality is less demanding. The film Scream is itself a commentary on the slasher genre, on films like Halloween, for example.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie. For instance, number 1, you can never have sex.
However, this intertextual connection merely adds a commentary on top of a complete film that can be understood on its own, hence why it is optional. Finally, there is also accidental intertextuality. This is when the reader comes up with their own connections. You can argue that Halloween has an intertextual connection with the Book of Revelation, in which terrifying supernatural beings purge the world of its sinners, hence why only the Virgin survives. As the name implies, these intertextual relationships are not intended by the author. Now that you know what intertextuality is, what is it for? Well, it can be used as mere Easter eggs, but it can also be a way to establish, add, or strengthen meanings. The bride's outfit from Kill Bill is a very direct reference to Bruce Lee in Game of Death. That intertextuality imbues the character with the aura of Bruce Lee, making her appear more formidable and unyielding. This imbuement and reinforcement of meanings is what we'll be looking at today. Now that you know what intertextuality is, it's time to take a look at another equally important topic: Squarespace. Let's say I want to make a fan site for the SAP 900 because I fell in love with its retro yet humble design, as seen in Drive My Car and, I kid you not, Fight Back to School 2. All I need to do is pick a template, upload a few pictures, and the website is already looking good. The best part is, you can do all this for free. No commitments are needed until you're ready. Just start your free trial at squarespace.com/accentedcinema and use the code accentedcinema to get 10% off your first purchase. All jokes aside, whether you are just making a fan site, starting a career, or opening a business, if you need a website, Squarespace is here to help. Again, visit squarespace.com/accentedcinema and start your free trial today. With all of that out of the way, time to look at Drive My Car. In the film, Kafuku, a stage actor, lives a double life. While he appears to be in a loving marriage, in reality, Kafuku knows that his wife is unfaithful. While she seems to want to talk about this, Kafuku, fearing that it will ruin his marriage, never confronts his wife about this. Meanwhile, being a stage actor, Kafuku has a habit of reciting dialogues while he drives. He would play as Uncle Vanya, while an audio tape recorded by his wife plays all the other roles.
その気になれば僕だって何でも手に入ったのにこの年になったらもう無理だ
おじさんつまんないわそんな話
And it's through these moments a lot of the characters hidden in the struggle surfaces. These passages from Uncle Vanya are delivered without emotion. Indeed, he was merely reciting the words.
僕のやり方は戯曲の流れを本当に全部頭に入れておく必要があるだからうんざりするほど聞く
But this monotone performance brings a great deal of irony if you know the context of Uncle Vanya. In the play, Vanya is a miserable old man. He lives with his niece on a rural estate, working for his entire life to support his brother-in-law. One day, the elderly brother-in-law comes to visit, bringing with him his much younger second wife, Elena. Vanya finds himself developing feelings for Elena, while Elena finds herself torn between two men. Neither of them is Vanya. Sad, jealous, and frustrated, Vanya resents his in-law and laments that he may have wasted his life. Drive My Car then takes Uncle Vanya's miserable emotion and transplanted it onto Kafuku. Take this passage for example.
あの偉そうな歩き方まるで殿様気取りじゃないか
どうやら君やっかんでいるんだな
ああそうとも大いにやっかんでるさ
This scene happens not long after Kafuku witnessed his wife's infidelity firsthand. Just from the surface text, it's not hard to see that the film implies that he is jealous of his wife's lover. But it gets more complicated. This passage comes from a scene in which Vanya complains about his in-law, specifically about him marrying his young and beautiful wife, Elena. Remember, Vanya has feelings for Elena, while Elena does not reciprocate. When you match the characters between the two texts, the discrepancy creates a new meaning. While on the surface, Kafuku married his wife, deep down he thinks his wife actually has no feelings for him, and is, instead, belongs with a much more attractive lover. Intertextuality adds meaning. Another good example is this scene. Here, his wife's lover, Takatsuki, comes to audition. He plays Astrov, the man who Elena may or may not have feelings for. Astrov seduces Elena in a rather aggressive manner. While on the surface, this scene clearly calls back to when Kafuku saw his wife cheating on him. The callback is even stronger when you look at the play. When Astrov and Elena kisses, Vanya is actually there to witness it. Vanya loses it, just as Kafuku did.
そこまで失礼
For this whole time when he's watching this audition, Kafuku is forced to be Vanya. He is attacked by both the memory of his unfaithful wife and the emotion of the character. Thus, intertextuality strengthens meanings. Beyond adding and strengthening meanings in the text, intertextuality also has an effect beyond the plot. For example, the acting in Drive My Car is very understated.
はい私たちが考えなくてはいけないことです
Under normal circumstances, it's easy to see this as emotionless and robotic. But Uncle Vanya's status as a classic brings an air of legitimacy and it shapes the expectation of the audience. We become much more willing to give it a benefit of the doubt and to see the intention behind this unorthodox acting choice. Of course, the film still has to justify it at the end, but the point is, audience perception is also shaped by intertextuality. This inclusion of Uncle Vanya also helps us understand the intended tone and mood of the story. Drive My Car is a subdued film. Without pre-understanding Uncle Vanya, you have to watch, I'll say, 40 minutes of the film before you fully grasp the tone the film is going for. Uncle Vanya, being a melancholic story about the struggle of life, directs the audience's attention towards that emotion and enriches the experience in the process. Finally, Uncle Vanya helps brings out the theme of Drive My Car. At the film's climax, Kafuku befriends his driver. The two embrace as the driver tells Kafuku to make peace with his regret.
ただ単にそういう人だったと思うことは難しいですか。家福さんを心から愛したことも、他の男性を限りなく求めたことも、何の嘘も矛盾もないように、私には思えるんです。
Next scene, Kafuku is on stage again, playing Vanya. Vanya's niece asks him to make peace with the hardship in life. It's like seeing two stories coming together, ending at the same time, doubling the emotions. Two texts echoing each other, the theme becomes louder and rings truer. And that is the power of intertextuality in art. And that is intertextuality, how it shapes, adds, strengthens meanings. Through this extensive usage, Drive My Car creates this character headspace that is difficult, if not impossible to achieve with acting alone. The more you look into the text, the more intriguing the performance becomes. And that may be one of the key reasons why Drive My Car is adored by critics. That said, intertextuality can have its drawbacks. With the film's meaning hidden in between texts, the film is incredibly opaque to those who aren't familiar with Uncle Vanya. It's certainly a challenging film to watch, and the film practically demands multiple viewings. But if you are down to watch a difficult movie, this is most definitely a good choice. Hopefully, this video gives you the right tools to digest the film. Drive My Car may be bland at first, but spend some time and really chew on it. Once you find the hidden flavor, it will be a unique cinematic experience.